Things starting to take shape for the Texans as they head to Detroit. It is SNL, Landry Locker, Cody Stutes with you. Practice observations coming up in a second. We'll also hear from Nick Kayley, who, by the way, Nick Kayley right off the top gave us a little bit of news at his press conference. No overthinking this. Also, perhaps the biggest observation of all in more ways than one. Cody, you were out there today. I think it's clear that things are shaping up very much when it comes to the 53-man roster.
Oh, yeah, the 53, as well as kind of the direction that they want to go with some of these offensive spots where we might have questions. It's becoming pretty clear who they're going to take to game day and what those roles are going to be.
Yeah, the receiver thing, they signed a bunch of receivers this morning. That to me tells me that they're not evaluating receivers anymore. They just need bodies. Whether it's in Detroit, they just need bodies. Whether it's in the preseason game in Detroit,
yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised, and I would actually think I would lean in the direction to where the Will Andersons, the Danielle Hunters, the Nico Collins don't even need to practice against Detroit. I think at this point, like some rest days would go a long way for this squad. So I know that it's kind of like a nuck if you buck type of vibe normally during joint practices, but I just think at this point in the season, ice up. There hasn't really been an ice up period. Let's get a little ice up period here for the guys that we already know do their thing.
Yeah, I'm the exact opposite. I think Thursday should be the preseason finale for just about everybody that's important. So last time you really see Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Nico Collins, and Stingley and Lassiter and Bullock. Let that serve as the preseason finale. Everybody takes that week plus to get ready for LA.
Shout out to HDAV Traveler on the soup.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
He's doing his thing out there in A-Town. Shout out to HDAV. Practice observations from today. There were a few. First guy out there. You know, they always go first guy out, last to leave. First guy out there, Dameon Pierce. Dameon Pierce was fielding kicks before practice. So at about 9-ish, Dameon Pierce was out there receiving kicks. So we kind of got a look at Pearson. We got a look of him in live action today, as well as Christian Harris in the team periods.
Yeah, this was the most full practice for those two to date, and they had a pretty full practice last week, but they didn't go through all the drills. It looked like they were good to go for everything, and they're both 100% back, and I would expect to see them both on the field in Detroit on Thursday.
Well, and we got word that perhaps today was the final display of team periods in Houston. In Detroit, they'll have team periods, but tomorrow's practice is going to be extremely light, and they're definitely toning things down when it comes to what they're going to do. I thought this was the biggest takeaway from today, and I think you would agree with this. And this has been something that we've been talking about. This is one of the biggest questions, but we've wondered, like, where is Ariante Ursary going to start? We know that he's more comfortable on the left. We know that he's early on in the process when Cam Robinson was out there. He was on the right with the first team and then the left with the third team. Today, it was all left. He was all Beyonce today. To the left is all we had with Ariante Ursary. He was on the left side with the first team, and then when Cam Robinson would get some first team reps on the left side, Ariante Ursary was on the left side with the second team. And I think this is all we need to know, because this is the first time that Cam Robinson has been a full go in a practice where Ariante Ursary has not lined up on the right side. And if they were considering, and this is just clues that we have right here, like if they were considering moving Ariante Ursary back to the right side, then you would think that he would probably get some of those reps in practice, whatever. But it was all left today, which I think is kind of a little bit of a, I don't want to say gotcha clue, but it's definitely something to make note of.
It's indicative that they each have a similar role, right? Cam Robinson and Ariante Ursary. One of them's going to start. One of them's going to be the backup left tackle. And right now, if you made me guess, I would tell you it's probably going to be Ursery starting with Cam Robinson backing him up. But that's what it is. Cam Robinson's never played right tackle in his career, so he's going to be the backup left tackle. He's not an option for that other tackle spot. And Ursery, you can just tell the way they talk about it and the way he talks about it. He prefers to be on the left side, and he's the left tackle of the future. And if the future's now, he'll be the starter at left tackle. And Tyus Howard's been the best right tackle in all of practice. Whenever there's been a right tackle that's performed well, it's been Tyus Howard. He played better at right tackle throughout camp than Ursery did. So he's going to be the right tackle, it would seem, and they have their choice between the left tackles. And my gut is they're leaning Ursery to get this thing going here in week 1 against the Rams.
Yeah, I will say that's cool. And there's going to be some growing pains. It felt like he kind of got little guy today. Derek Barnett was showing off some grown man strength with Ursery. There was a stretch today where Derek Barnett was basically, I don't want to like be dramatic and say he was like throwing him around like a rag doll, but it seemed like he was pretty much able to do whatever the hell he wanted to do. I don't know if that's just because Derek Barnett's just crafty. Maybe he's a little bit fresh, but Derek Barnett today, when he was lining up on Ursery, that's a good thing for the defense, I guess. But it seemed like he was kind of having his way.
Yeah, there's back-to-back plays where he just annihilated Ursery. The first one was more impressive than the second one because he got into Ursery and then kind of moved him back a little bit and then was able to shed him and get to C.J. Stroud. That was a good job by Barnett. And then on the next one, Ursery didn't get a hand on him very fast, and Barnett almost sacked C.J. on a screenplay that they were throwing that direction. And so it's really impressive rep by Barnett. And then, of course, you get Derek Barnett, a savvy veteran, for 2 snaps. The very next snap after that is Daniil Hunter, and he just eats Ursery's lunch too. It's like that was a rough little stretch.
Yeah, one of them you can maybe say it was a screen, so he let him go. And CJ got it away. I don't know though. It felt like it was one of those where the guy got in so quick that he might have been able to kind of disrupt the screen. So Derek Barnett, he was on the field. Foley Fatukasi, he was on the field. He had a sack. So Fatukasi and Barnett both looked good today, running with the second team defense. You also had Cam Robinson. Didn't really notice anything crazy about Cam Robinson, but you had those guys out there. And oh, by the way, you also had CJ Gardner-Johnson on the side. He was getting some side work in. I don't want to be like the judge of how far off CJ Gardner-Johnson is, but I mean, it looks like he's moving around pretty decent ramp up rate.
I mean, what's the max amount of time some guy would be ramping up on the side field? 2-3 weeks? It's like that'd be the to me, that would be the max amount of time. So this bodes well for, I mean, I believe if they got as lucky as it seems they did, I believe he's not going to miss 4 games to start the season. So maybe he misses LA and he's good to go for Monday Night Football in week 2. But if he's already on the side field, there at least exists a chance that he's going to be ready for week 1 against the LA Rams.
Patrick is saying that Aaron is saying he's practicing Thursday against his former team.
So apparently CJ Gardner-Johnson's almost knee injury from a couple years ago is the reason the Lions have such a strict policy.
Yeah, a strict recording policy. Like it's almost like no phones or something like that. They have something kind of crazy.
You're not allowed to video with a phone. It has to be a professional camera. And if an injury occurs, you're not allowed to report it during practice. Because CJ Gardner-Johnson got carted off with a knee injury in Lions training camp a couple years ago, and then he was fine.
Yeah, so you have to. So they're saying you have to use an actual camera.
Yeah, you have to have like a big shoulder camera, I guess.
So basically, news stations only and record. Yeah, that's pretty corny. Honestly, I don't think the Texans need to do that. I could see them though adapting those types of policies because they can be pretty corny sometimes with the injuries.
As long as they don't ban the pad and pin.
Yeah, I'm not really a record. Like I'll get a video every once in a while, but me and you, I think record less than anyone. Like during practice, like as far as highlights and stuff. Every once in a while, you'll throw something up, like a little instruction thing, but it doesn't like it. If you said that we couldn't record, it wouldn't really hurt my feelings too much, honestly. But I do think the paranoia is a little bit funny sometimes with them. AJ has a question on the chat. He says, what do we need to see from Ursery to feel comfortable with him at left tackle? Tough to assess his ability to block average pass rushers when he's going up against elite rushers every practice. There's going to be struggles, man. Like there's going to be struggles. Like if you're a rookie corner or you're a rookie tackle, there's going to be struggles at any position, but there's going to be like you're on an island basically when you're a corner or a tackle, and there's going to be struggles for all of them. So you basically right now, like how do you assess it? You assess him versus Cam Robinson, and then you assess the combination of the left tackle, right tackle, and right guard with what it looks like with him at left tackle. That's how you assess it. That's the only way that you really assess it. Those are the two ways.
Look, I would tell you that he's had enough reps that he's not going to be shocked by too many things that he sees in the regular season. I don't know that there's going to be a point anytime soon that we're comfortable with any of these offensive linemen. So that's not just an Ursery as a rookie thing. That's those 5 guys blocking for CJ Stroud. I would tell you though that I've been pretty impressed with some of like when he does get his hands on some of the speedier guys, how well he can control them. Like Barnett pushing him back and shucking him is it's a rarity. That does not happen.
There's also grown man strength, man. Like I just think Derek Barnett's one of those like, oh geez, like just kind of like he's not going to let any 20-year-old kid block him. That's just not going to happen.
Sure, but I mean, it's not like Will Anderson's going in there and getting into Ursery and throwing him out of the way.
Yeah,
either, I know. So it's like that felt very much like a one-off and not a consistent situation. If he looked like Blake Fisher out there, I tell you, he looked like Blake Fisher out there. But he just got beat a couple times.
It's gonna be on the coaching and the culture and Popovich. By the way, AJ looks like he could run a marathon. He definitely looks like he probably would. He looks like he definitely is like a get up at 6 a.m. and like get a nice sweat in before going into the office type of dude or whatever. He might be a trainer.
That's a CrossFitter for sure.
If he's not a trainer, that dude is getting up. He is sweating before he's productive during the day. That props to you, AJ. I very much respect your dedication.
That's a CrossFitter for sure.
Yeah, he's doing his thing. So other things that stuck out in practice, you have still there's something else that's happening on the offensive line, and we're going back to the second team, but if there's hints that Ursery is going to be the left tackle, I think we're starting to get hints that Juice Scruggs is going to be on the team because the last couple of weeks he's been getting second team reps, but it's been at right guard. And now they're rotating in between right guard and left guard. And that's kind of the sales pitch as to why Juice Scruggs would be one of the top 9 guys. So I think Juice Scruggs moving around is kind of another sign that they're kind of leaning towards Juice Scruggs. I called him Juice Blacklock. He beat the curse. He's going into 3. Perhaps. Don't know. But there are signs that make it look like Juice Scruggs has a chance to be on the team.
Yeah, D'Amico Ryans let it slip the other day that they're looking for 9 offensive linemen. Well, the tackles are pretty well squared away. It's Ursery and Robinson on the left side. It's Titus Howard and Blake Fisher on the right side. And then you're figuring out the centers and guards. Okay, well, centers, Andrews and Patterson. Okay, right there we've got 6 players. So there's 3 spots left. Ed Ingram, Juice Scruggs, and Laken Tomlinson. There's your 9.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I thought this was interesting. Because I talk about how caps, D'Amico Ryans likes to lie. And I don't mind being lied to for a purpose. Like the dog ate my homework. The only reason it's a bad lie is because it's not believable. Like you should say, I left my backpack in my dad's car and my mom took me to school. Like that's a good lie. That's a good lie with a purpose because you don't want to get in trouble with the homework. D'Amico Ryans doesn't want to tell us injuries for competitive reasons. Okay. But one of the weirdest, and we talked about this when it happened, one of the weirdest lies that D'Amico told was when I asked him about, the 53-man roster, and he tried to go all hard ass and go, well, I haven't even thought about the 53-man roster. I asked Frank Ross about it, and I like this answer a lot more. And quite frankly, I don't believe DeMeco Ryans because I believe DeMeco Ryans is a good head coach and I believe he's organized. And if he really hadn't thought of the 53-man roster nearly a month into camp, then that's David Culley type stuff. And I don't think DeMeco Ryans is David Culley. I think he's one of the better coaches in the NFL. But let's get some honesty from Frank Ross. This is Frank Ross talking about his role as a special teams coach. There's a little back and forth with myself and him. His role as a special teams coach and what it's like building the 53. This is good stuff, way better than cap and cap.
So what is that from your perspective, like when they're making the 53, like the offensive guy has an opinion, DeMeco and Caserio decide, like how do you make a case for someone that maybe is a special teams guy that doesn't play as much offense or defense? Like what is your pitch for
sure, yeah. Man, am I a good salesman?
I don't
know. Where's my pen at? Okay, this pen right here. Let me tell you about this pen. So no, we it is a truthfully like daily. When I mean daily, I mean daily conversation that has to take place. So the roles and as things are sorting out, like, all right, this guy's not gonna come off the field first, second, and third down, whether it's O or D. All right, so let's say he gets benched. What can he do for me if he's gonna be in a backup role? All right, then he ends up, being a full-time starter. So those guys that have specific roles are kicking game player roles, and I say, here's the best version of that to go win on fourth down. But if they can't play a lick of offense or defense, you're not a football player, and you're not going to be able to then step into a prominent role when we need you on the other side of the ball that is more, we understand we're the third phase. That's okay. But to me, you have to be able to be a first, second, and third down starter at any point in time and be great in the kicking game. And then if you are that, and like what is your backup role or one phase, or hey, you're going to be a sub when a guy goes down, we need a full team of guys that can do that. For me, I'm just always evaluating and projecting to Coach Nick Burke, Kayley Burke, what a role player can do for me, and is he a suitable sub fill-in for you guys when it's needed.
Yeah, I mean, and I think they think about this all the time. I think it's a good back and forth. I think that's good information from Frank Ross. It's good information.
Well, and you got to build it. I understand special teams is important. It's the third phase of the game, but you got to build it with what do you do on offense, what do you do on defense, and then if that guy can't go on offense or defense, what can his backup do on offense and defense? And then it's like, okay, yeah, actually they also are a pretty good special teams player too. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, so it was good, and you could tell it's details because they constantly are adding details to the evaluation and the equation, and then I think it was Matt Burke said, we tell these guys we evaluate everything, so like they are constantly figuring out what's this guy do, can we trust him, can he be a 53 guy, can he be a practice squad guy? So that's why it's always funny when DeMeco Ryans like, I haven't thought about it. You sure?
You're a competent coach. You've thought about it.
Because Frank just said you guys have a meeting every day about it.
Yeah. And I saw on the chat, someone was talking about press conference. Christopher Charles says, never understood why you cherish press conferences so much. Obviously, they would never tell us or you anything they wouldn't want us to know. It's a lot of generalizations, brother. That's too many days for that. Some do, some don't. And press conferences are a good way to kind of get the storyline and the path. So I think that's kind of a weak generalization. I do agree that DeMeco is kind of a little bit closer to the vest, but I think you also get stuff like what Frank Ross said, and really kind of some of the stuff that Nick Kayley has said. Nick Kayley, speaking of saying stuff, Nick Kayley asked him right off the top, first question when he walked up there, hey, you called a game in the booth, preseason game 1, then you were on the field, preseason game 2. What are we thinking? This is what Nick Kayley had to say with that.
You've called one in the booth and one on the field. Have you made a decision where you're going to call games during the regular season?
Yeah, I'll be down on the field. Feel good about it. Feel good about both, but I'll be down on the field moving forward.
Was it a little harder to bring the juice to the game from upstairs?
No, communication's good either way. I just I like to be able to look guys in the eyes and be able to walk over immediately and talk to guys, make adjustments with the coaches, and be able to look guys in the eyes when I communicate with them. Just a little bit more efficient, and I can cut a few steps out that way.
There you go. Cut a few steps out that way. So yes, Nick Kayley will be calling the games on the side. I don't have a preference. It just has to be the right call for him. I don't like. There's examples of all. There's not like a preference, but damn, man, that binder is pretty thick, brother. I don't know. Like, what's that setup going to be? They going to get you a desk or something down there? Can they put a desk on the field? Is that legal, or do you have to have a certain amount of bench? I think they need to give like Nick Kayley a bench.
Just get him one of those things that you have in music class that holds the music. Just like one of those music stands, and just put his stuff on there, and he can conduct the offense.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew he was going to be on the sideline, right? I mean,
Yeah,
he kind of hinted at it when he's like, "Oh, well, the past 7 seasons been on the sideline." It's like, yeah, okay, well, you're going to be on the sideline.
Yeah. Sean says that he saw it posted and didn't give me credit for the question. It's a press conference. Like, press conferences are public, so it's not like they took something from SNL or anything like that. I was always told in like journalism, if there's like multiple, like 3 mics, then it's there. So it's just kind of a quote. I mean, they send out the freaking archive of it, so that doesn't really mean anything.
It's not something that matters to us.
Yeah, we don't give a shit. Chase says that Nick Kayley has crazy eyes. Let's see. Let's hear from Nick Kayley, because I asked him about the running back situation. We'll get into this Mixon thing in a second. But I asked him just basically, do we need to see Damian before you trust him to play in a game that counts? And how do you approach a potential running back committee, which I'm not going to lie to you, it kind of feels like we're heading towards that. But here's him talking about Pierce.
Is it important for Damian to get in-game action before you trust him in a game in your system?
Yeah, I would say this. Damian's played a good amount of football. He's a physical, violent runner. You get to see him out here. It's not like this is an unknown commodity. So whatever we feel is best for the reps, that'll be it. But, I've watched Damian. I've had an appreciation for him for a while. And, I think he wants to go out there and just be at his best every single day. And I'm excited to get him back out here with us.
And after that, I asked him about the committee. He went in depth. He said he likes what the backs do. He said specifically he likes the way that they pass block, which is something that he tends to value. He always has like these terms for like, it's almost like objectives or something like that when he's talking. But they seem to be okay with Dameon Pierce not playing. Does that have to do with Joe Mixon perhaps not going, or what? We do have some clarification on the old rule. Apparently you can just miss 4 weeks to start the season if you are Joe Mixon. So there's nothing crazy about that.
Yeah. So I mean, he acted like Dameon Pierce being like some sort of big proven commodity was public knowledge. It's news to me that he's some sort of proven commodity at the NFL level, but I could certainly see where, if you liked the guy a couple years ago, you felt like he was the wrong scheme past couple years, maybe you only need to see him a little bit and say, yeah, no, we like this guy.
I do think you kind of look at Dameon Pierce a little bit different though. If you're going into the season with a committee, I think Dameon Pierce is a nice one part of a committee. Like if you have accepted the fact that it's going to be Chubb, Pierce, Marks, and Agumbawale, I think that's you probably look at Pierce as, maybe he can give me something here.
Well, it's Chubb and Pierce until Mixon gets back whenever he gets back. I mean, those are the 2 guys that run with CJ primarily until it's third down. They need to put Dare in there.
And Berrios is a lock for sure, you think?
I'd be surprised if he's not on the team. I wouldn't call him a lock.
Yeah, well, the only reason I'm asking is because Pierce with the kick return and Tremont Smith's getting some kick return and Knowles getting some punt return. And that would actually give you like some flexibility if you did go that route.
Berrios still reps first team on all that stuff though.
I know. But this goes down to like the decisions that we're speaking of and all that. But I guess the most interesting thing will be like if Mixon starts on PUP and you're saying he can be done, he can be miss 4 games and then come back, right? Like if that happens, then What running back do you think they get rid of when he comes back?
I think they get rid of another piece of the roster probably.
So you
they're
think
only-
they keep 5 backs?
Yes, and if
When
British
Mixon-
Brooks is on the team and Mixon gets healthy, then they get rid of British Brooks.
That would be 6. That would be 6, right? Oh, so they get rid of Brooks? Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they keep 4, Mixon comes back, they'll just keep 5.
Mhm.
Somebody else loses their job. If they have 5, Mixon comes back, British Brooks loses his job.
Okay. Yeah. So you think Brooks makes it?
No, I don't think he's a guaranteed spot at all.
Yeah, I think they keep 4 backs if Mixon's on pup. I think it's going to be Pierce, Chubb, Agumbawale, and Marks. Marks and Agumbawale aren't going anywhere. And then I think it goes down to Pierce and Chubb when Mixon comes back.
I would think that probably you'd probably would be losing Damian at that point.
Okay. I mean, depending on how Chubb holds up after 4 weeks,
Well, depending on how Damian holds up, that guy gets hurt a lot too.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
I don't. Which do you feel is a tougher situation for them to handle? Mixon not on any sort of list on the roster, but not available for a couple weeks. Or,
No, I think 4 weeks. I think I think they've made this bullshit mistake a couple times, and I hope they learn from their mistakes. Where they don't put someone on pup, and then next thing you know, you look up and it's like, well, why the hell didn't you put him on pup? You could have had an extra spot. I think they did it with Jimmy Ward last year.
or in season IR.
Yeah, and in season IR, and then they ended up running out of moves at one point, like with their elevations. So they've been pretty sloppy on that. So if you're telling me Joe Mixon might be back week 3, but we don't know, or you can just shut him down for week 4 and know what you have in front of you, then I would just rather do that than just be at the mercy of a foot injury with a guy pushing 30 at running back.
See, my thought would be if he misses the first 4 weeks, you probably don't see him until after the bye. Because why are you ramping him up for one game and then it's a bye week?
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to handle this. I don't know how big of a task it is. I'm surprised that we don't have a little bit more information on it. I would bet that once it becomes official, we get some information from like Schefter or something like that as to what happened with Mixon. But it's just a weird. I'm not judging anyone like for having optimism about Joe Mixon, like, but I do think that what would you be optimistic about at this point? Like, he's not.
The initial report never said he was coming back week 1. The initial report said he'd be reassessed closer to the season.
No, but my point is, if he comes back, the point I'm trying to make is if he comes back week 1, what do you just think he's going to be a workhorse? Like nothing happened. Like he's going to carry the ball 20 plus times and the foot's going to be great. And he's going to look awesome. Like that's the thing that I think is that it's like, oh, well, when Mixon comes back, okay, well, when Mixon comes back, he's in a new system. He's got a hurt foot. Like it's just, it seems like this is kind of going to be a running back by committee no matter what. And hopefully Joe Mixon is the head of that committee and he has the largest chunk of the pie, but it just feels like we're heading towards a running back committee, regardless of whether Joe Mixon's on the field week 1, week 6, week 8, whatever. That's just what it feels like. Week 3, just kind of what it feels like.
Well, that's why I would keep 4 guys behind Joe Mixon when he's back, so that you don't feel like you only give the ball to Joe Mixon. You do have a couple of different options behind him for whatever the situation may dictate. I mean, think about it this way. Joe Mixon we're not going to see him this week. So he's not going to be on the field in Detroit. He's not going to be on the field tomorrow. He's not going to be playing in the preseason game. So they have 2 practices next week. And then they have 3 practices before they play the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
So if Joe Mixon woke up Sunday morning and felt awesome, he'd have 5 practices to get ready for the first week. So as soon as those 5 practices, like as soon as you get further into those 5 practices, it becomes so much more less likely that Mixon's going to be on the field, not only week 1, but then he's still got to get in shape. He had a hurt foot. He's not going to be in football shape right away.
Yeah, and he's also not going to be in, I know Kayley's system shape. So, I mean, Kayley made it seem like it's, you're a known commodity, but I mean, Damien's at least practicing. Like I got a message and it was, well, Joe Mixon didn't practice last year. Yeah, he did. And he looked fucking great. Especially against the Rams. He didn't play preseason. He hasn't played preseason in a long time, but he definitely practiced. Like we observed it. We talked about it. You go back and watch. We're not hard to find, but yeah, he definitely practiced. Like this is not the same situation as last year when it comes to Joe Mixon. So that's just where they're at with the running back position. It is definitely going to be a committee. Yes, you would like to have Joe Mixon, but even if you have Joe Mixon, there's a chance you're not going to have Joe Mixon. So figure that out, figure out that riddle. But I think that's something that we got to start understanding when it comes to looking at where things are. They're not sitting there. I'll put it this way. I don't think they're sitting there and just saying, oh, Joe's going to be good to go. It's 100%. I don't think that they're confident in that.
If you had to bet on a week that Joe Mixon makes his debut, what week would you bet on?
Man, like there's just too many hints that like people who know a little bit, they just keep saying stuff. Like I don't think Field Yates is like Mr. NFL Insider, and I don't even think that's his lane. But whenever Brian Robinson becomes available and Field Yates comes out and says the Texans should think about trading for him, I put some sort of stock in that. Like when ESPN has Joe Mixon in the 20s in fantasy football, I put some sort of stock in that. When everyone's being so weird about Joe Mixon, and I almost wonder if like the paranoia about D'Amico is almost like with it like connected to Joe Mixon in some way, shape, or form, because it just doesn't seem they're hard to read when it comes to injuries, but this doesn't. Some people are saying it feels Christian Harris like, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, is that we're going on the Christian Harris ride with Joe Mixon? I mean, the good thing is I think we probably get some clarity once they have to decide whether or not they're going to start him on some sort of list. But
a week from today, we will know a lot more about Joe Mixon's status, because he'll either be on short-term IR, he'll start the year on non-football injury list, or he'll be on the roster. Yeah. By the way, if I was a betting man, I would bet that Joe Mixon makes his debut week 7.
7? That would be your bet?
Correct, because if he misses 4 weeks and he's eligible to return in week 5 and the bye week is week 6, just get him ready for week 7.
Okay.
Remember when Nico was ready to go after 4, they took him off of short-term IR and then didn't play him? Like they have a history.
Yeah, they said there was like that was against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
That was against Detroit. Yeah, they do that. And their walkthroughs, seems like everybody's just partakes in the walkthrough no matter what, which is a good thing to observe and see now. Now that we know, like walkthrough doesn't mean crap, aka Friday practice.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's where we're at with Joe Mixon and Ariante Ursary. Did anything else stick out today at practice?
I mean, Xavier Hutchinson, if you had to list them, 1 through 6, 1 through 7, whatever the depth chart is for the wide receivers, you'd put him ahead of the 2 rookies. He gets more opportunities with Nico and Kirk on the field than Higgins does.
Yep. Roy Boy on the Soup says, if you have a chub after 4 weeks, you got a problem.
Yeah, don't they tell you to see a doctor?
I guess.
Don't they tell you
Shane got jokes. Aaron Wilson said he believes Mixon is on the NFL by week 1, so that confirms he'll play week 1.
Well, that's if Aaron told me I was healthy, I'd get my affairs in order.
Come on. That's just a hurtful comment, man. Just a hurtful comment.
Is he? I mean, it's kind of funny though.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, that was really all that happened. JB the Annihilator says, wait a minute, Cody. What would you rank weapons using the 5-star ranking system? I gave it a 4-star. That's the movie.
I haven't seen it yet, JB, but I will see it soon and I will get you a review.
I don't trust Cody with movies, though.
Okay.
Not a good thing to do.
Okay. Are you insinuating that I just say that all movies are good?
I'm not. I just think you have bad taste.
Well, I think you have bad taste too.
I do with movies. I'm definitely not good. Not there. Brandon says, what are you thinking about Eli Cox? I'm not, be honest with you. I'm not.
I don't even know if he's a practice squad candidate.
Yeah, I'm not thinking anything about him, be honest with you. Like, I don't think I've thought about him all camp.
Local man does not think about Cox.
Yep, does not. I don't think anything about that guy. So there's where that is. By the way, I think you're gonna have to have the 7 ounces of ACV because I think Jakob Johnson is kind of on the outside, but
you don't think Jakob's making the team, huh?
I think they can keep him around on the practice squad. I think they might try to be slick.
Man,
he's got a shot, but it's the numbers are getting weird. By the way, what did you make of Frank Ross? Because I asked him about Brevin Jordan as a special teamer. He said he was a 4-down starter, so I think he was saying he would be on kick return, punt return. Brevin Jordan on special teams.
Yeah, he called him a special teams unicorn.
Yeah, special teams unicorn. So I asked him like who benefits from that, and he said mid-sized body guys, which would be tight ends and backers. I do wonder if Jamal Hill is one of those guys that's that can do what Brevin Jordan did. Because we are seeing a little bit more of Jamal Hill. Doesn't it seem like since Brevin Jordan got hurt, we're seeing more like Jamal Hill second team defense?
I haven't noticed that.
I have. It does feel that way, and he's always out there on special teams. So I do wonder about Jamal Hill, if maybe he's the guy that if they keep 6 backers.
Well, if Jamal Hill makes it over Nick Neiman, then they wasted money and they should have got a veteran guard.
Well, I think that's possible.
Well, that was a bad job by Caserio.
I think it's very possible that Nick Neiman doesn't make the team. Do you think he's good?
No, but hold on. No. We're not having the discussion of Nick Neiman make the team or not make the team. We're having a discussion of Jamal Hill make the team over Nick Neiman. Neither of them should make the team.
So you keep him 5 backers?
Yeah, I keep 5 backers.
Okay. And then one of them on the practice squad. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I just don't know. These tight ends, they're not impressed with. Like Harrison Bryant. Harrison Bryant's just a guy. I didn't even like.
The value in that trade, everybody needs to understand. The value in that trade was moving up around in the draft. The value is not Harrison Bryant.
Yeah, and it almost felt like maybe a do-right for Mechie too, who, by the way, had a leaping catch and then a drop on consecutive plays. So
yeah,
the Mechie experience is alive and well in Philly.
If we apply the how much my boss talks about my job amount of words like we did last year when D'Amico was asked about Bobby Slowick and he had about 13 words to say. And I looked at Jonathan Alexander. I said, well, he's getting fired. Like he had about 15 words to say about Harrison Bryant. Yeah, come in and compete. Like, okay, well, he's not for sure making the team.
This is a fact.
Yeah. I mean, it would be really, from a roster building standpoint, it'd be pretty weird to only have 2 tight ends and then just kind of make that third tight end be sort of a practice squad promotion type thing. That'd be a pretty weird way to approach things, but I don't know. Was it Nick Kayley that mentioned Jakob working with the tight ends? Like that kind of gave me hope that he was making the team.
Yeah, I think I mean, he wants him around. So I don't know how much fullback they are going to. By the way, Woody Marks looks comfortable behind a fullback.
Are you surprised Woody Marks made so much money at USC?
No, because they had a lot of money to give, and there was a lot of optimism when he went there. Lincoln hadn't showed his naked ass around there yet. They had a lot of bread, bro.
Sure. I mean, but Woody was a part-time player / receiving back, and they gave him a cool mill.
Yeah, you got a millie transfer. That's what happens when you're a highly performing SEC running back and you go to USC. So yeah, Woody Marks. I want to see what he looks like in like a real game and how they. I do think that's going to be one of Kayley's biggest challenges, which is why I asked him about it, like the juggling of the committee. And I thought New England used to always do a really good job at it. They always had like some scat back who could catch the ball out of the backfield. Seemed like they always had like a thumper. And then it seemed like they always had like the more complete back. And then there was like always be another back that you just didn't know what he was going to do. James White for a long time was the receiving guy. They had Kevin Falk before. They had Danny Woodhead. They had Ben Jarvis Green Ellis is kind of the thumper. There was a time where they had Lawrence Maroney and I forget who the other back was with Maroney, but they had that. Then they had
Tony Michelle.
Yeah, they drafted Michelle in the first round. I always talk about the AFC Championship game where Burkhead scores 2 touchdowns. Michelle has 100 yards. James White has some catches. And just a complete committee. The Kansas City game. Like
LeGarrette Blount, Stephon Ridley.
Yeah, it always felt like they did a really good job of like using their committee. Like it was a dick kick whenever you tried to pick a New England running back to play on your fantasy team. Because one week, they screwed up waiver wire picks like crazy. Because one week, one of those son of a guns would run for 100 yards, and then he wouldn't get a carry the next week, and some other son of a gun would run for 100 yards. And then you would try to decide between the other one, and neither one of them would catch it, do it. And all of a sudden they're throwing 50 times, and James White has like 9 catches. Like it was a mofo. And
Brandon Bolden, Mike Gillisley.
And I know you always kind of like grade when you're talking about New England on a curve, because Tom Brady's Tom Brady, Bill Belichick's Bill Belichick, Randy Moss, Wes Welker, but like as far as the running backs, like that, the way that they made that work, like that was running back by committee like crazy. Like nobody was looking at their running back rooms and saying, damn, I would really like to have that on my squad. They just did a really good job of maximizing the guys based on their skill set. And they did a really good job of having multiple guys making plays over the course of a game. And that's kind of, Nick Kayley wasn't the guy that was overseeing it, but that's kind of what you like when you think running back by committee. That is what you think of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they did it most effectively for the longest time.
Yeah, and that's really just kind of like a trust thing, because I mean, like, do we see like if they played Sunday, and let's say Pierce is healthy, like what do you think the lead in carries would be? 12 to 16?
Yeah, probably.
Chubb or Pierce?
Chubb.
Yeah, so 12 to 16 carries for Chubb, and then Marks, and then the other thing that I think is interesting with Dare Gumbawale, and we don't think Dare Gumbawale is a great running back. Like it's just the Texans running back room is set up to where Dare Gumbawale can be effective, but anytime there's something situational, do you notice how it's always Dare Gumbawale, even if it's like the most crucial of all situational things, where 2 weeks ago or at the Greenbrier, it was the first down wins it drill, where he really started like to kind of build momentum, and then he had the game against Minnesota. And then today, did you notice that when they were doing the super hurry up, he was the guy out there? Like when they were doing the super hurry up, like simulation in team 3/4, that Dare Gumbawale was the guy out there. He was the first one to catch the ball. He went back. Like it just seems like whenever there's like a situation like that, they seem to trust him.
Well, he's gone out there and he's got more trust than he has talent. I mean, he's a trusted guy that they put out there in situations where they know he's not going to screw it up.
Yep, and he doesn't. And that's kind of the state of the RB committee. Wide receiver set, running back committee, tight ends. I mean,
We know two.
and then they just need to figure something out. There's no way you can convince me that this Harrison Bryant guy was ever like an elite blocker. There's got to be like some skewed. I know last year he was terrible. The year before that he was mad, and then there's like some sort of one-off where whenever they're running max protect for Joe Flacco, he's like the second best blocking tight end. I got to think that had to have had something to do with that. With that, because like the way that
max protect, I might be able to block somebody.
Yeah, because remember how they were playing with Joe Flacco, where they were only there were times where they like just sending out 2 receivers.
Yeah,
they were like max protecting. I think Harrison Bryant in 2023 was doing that, so that's got to be part of the reason why the rankings are so good. Because I just look at that guy, you can't convince me. And there's pretty much one person in the comments that's like saying that he's known for blocking. He's not known for shit. Like
D'Amico also said he made a big play against us, and I couldn't find that big play. Like he said, he made a big play against us, and I went and looked. He had no success against San Francisco in his early days, and then a couple of years ago when he's on the Browns, like in the playoff game, he had like 4 catches for like 36 yards. I was like,
maybe that's what it means.
He made a play against us.
But yeah, I think that's kind of misleading. But we haven't really seen anything from him. He's trying to figure some stuff out.
He was this much higher on Pro Football Focus's 2024 blocking than Dalton Schultz.
Yeah,
like
I actually think the receiving is kind of intriguing. Like there's been times where that's been okay, but he was an O lineman before, but he's just a guy, and hopefully he is a guy, like not just someone that, yeah.
How about Nick Kayley being like, "Oh yeah, no, I was there at FAU when they recruited him." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, same thing with Aziz. Someone saying it was the second drive for the Browns. Was it like up the sidelines when they tied the game? Because then they tied the game early. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
Man, that's what gets you on the roster down the road. What a job by
No, it doesn't.
What a job by Harrison Bryant.
No, it doesn't. On defense, so we talked offense. Is there anything else we want to touch on the offense that kind of crosses our mind through the practice obs? I don't really have anything else on offense. Defense, I do have an observation. Arthur Maulet always gets flags. Sometimes I think they're deserved, but I feel like the refs are very, 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 very mean to Arthur Maulet in practice. And I hope it's at least factored in when they evaluate him.
He gets screwed.
Anytime there's a bad call, it's on Arthur Maulet on a pass interference.
I've seen him just get totally screwed by an official like 3 times.
Twice today. No, once today.
Yeah.
That one was the worst call of camp.
The defensive backs coach Dino Vasso just he lost it. He's like, "Come on."
Do you think Maulet makes it?
I have a hard time figuring out what to do with him because he's in a box. He is only Jalen Petre's backup, and then obviously he plays special teams. But they could put a different player on the roster that could also back up Petre in Miles Bryant. And most of the time, if they're going to take Petre off the field, it's for a linebacker. So if you told me today, does Arthur Maulet make it? I would say yes if I get to classify Miles Bryant as a safety.
Well, I mean, Miles Bryant's a safety. Like, that's not a classify. That's what he is right now. Oh, yeah. Bryant had the 47-yard catch. Yeah, on drive 2.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
Kind of up the seam. Yeah. You forgot that, dude. How could you forget that?
Oh, how can I forget Harrison Bryant making one play in a playoff game where they smacked the Browns around? Oh, man. Maybe I'll go take my memory meds.
47 yards, man. Come on, man.
Good. I mean, that's the highlight of your career. I mean, what are we doing?
It's just D'Amico threw it out there. You just missed my man's play, dude. That's probably like the play of his life, and you're just dismissing it. It's pretty disrespectful, but come to expect that crap from you, man. Come to expect that crap from you. The Maulet thing, being the only guy on the Petrie line, I think is interesting. Fatukasi and Barnett, they're showing life. So I think those guys are as good as on the team at this point. We wondered, like, what would Fatukasi look like? Looks good. Looks good. Derek Barnett, what does he look like? He looks like a grown-ass man. Grown-ass man, like he always has. He looks good as well. I would say Taylor's good, too. And then we know the others. So there's the D-line's kind of shaping up. Mario Edwards. I do look at Tim Settle now and say, okay, he's good, but he is getting coached a little harder from D'Amico.
I mean, we get all these consistency comments, and then we get told that Tim Settle's inconsistent. It just kind of makes me wonder.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Jake Ramirez says, no question here, just excited the regular season's in 2 weeks. This is a good question from Quincy on the D-line. Is Danico Autry in the NFL?
Danico Autry is probably starting the season on PUP, if I had to guess.
Danico Autry is on the Texans. Will he be on the roster? Don't know. Does he exist? Have you seen him? Have you laid eyes on? When's the last time you laid eyes on Danico Autry?
It was before West Virginia.
It was very brief.
It was before West Virginia when it was like Autry and Fatukasi and Barnett. Jared Wayne was still on the team. Trent Brown had like started to walk, and they were like way over on the far field, like working out. But that was weeks ago at this point.
Long time ago. All right, so that's all we got from the OBS. Cody will be hopping on a jet plane tomorrow, and he will be going to Detroit. We will have boots on the ground in the Motor City. He did say he was going to do the 8 Mile tour, so we'll see if we can get some video of that.
Nope, not going to do that.
You know, there's a Mom Spaghetti food truck up there, I've heard.
I'm sure it's delicious. So I'll catch it next trip. Yeah,
get you some Mom Spaghetti and do your thing. And I think they have like some Detroit style pizza that's kind of underrated too. So
that's my plan for Thursday evening is Detroit style.
Everybody wants a Mom's Spaghetti food review. Like the people are really asking for this. There's multiple people. So you've got to look at, let's see. Is it a thing? Mom's Spaghetti Detroit?
Well, let's see. Mom's Spaghetti Restaurant in Detroit. In Foxtown.
There we go. Look at this, dude.
It serves spaghetti-related merchandise, and is known for being opened by Eminem.
See what we got here. Look at this. Eminem's Mom's Spaghetti. So there we go. There's some spaghetti. There's some pasta sauce. Look at that Detroit hoodie right there with a Mom's Spaghetti.
They serve any food? Click the restaurant. Go back up. Click the restaurant part. Nope, too far. Up, down. It's right there where the spaghetti is. Keep going. Keep going. It says, restaurant. Detroit restaurant.
Okay. See what we got. Oh, God. They serve it in like Chinese style things.
Oh, it's in like little takeout boxes?
Little Chinese style takeout. 4 p.m. to midnight, 11 a.m. to midnight. Monday to Wednesday, 4 p.m. to midnight. So you get a regular large spaghetti. You get a spaghetti with meatballs. You get a spaghetti with rabbit balls. Vegan. No, thank you. Spaghetti with the ballon. You can get a spaghetti sandwich. You can make it Marshall style. Don't know what the hell that means. You get bologna sandwich.
Bolognese.
Excuse me. Meatballs, bologna. That would be disgusting. Veg balls, garlic bread.
Only $1 for garlic bread?
It's a Pepsi restaurant.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Okay.
I'll see what I can do about getting some Mom's Spaghetti.
We need that review. I said bologna.
Bologna, bolognese.
What is bolognese?
Bolognese is like a finely chopped meat sauce.
Okay. AJ, $9.99 for the spaghetti.
You ain't never hate.
You have to go now.
Swarm.
Mom Spaghetti has to go. We have to get the review.
All right.
It's official. It must. Are you a bolognese guy or what? HDAV Traveler says Detroit style pizza is nice.
Yeah, I've had Detroit style with some of the places down here that serve Detroit style, but
I don't know, man. It's kind of thick.
well, it's not a problem for me.
What do you know about that Pizza Hut Bigfoot back in the day?
I don't think I ever got that.
Yeah. Place sounds mid. I agree with him, but you got to eat it. And guess what? The best thing about it is if it's not good and you get sick and you throw up, there's going to be vomit on your sweater already. Appreciate y'all for rolling through. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Eat good, including mom's spaghetti, I guess. Sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Appreciate you.